Introduce these players to the bottom south side of the map. Our blue Pros player from Millennium. That's here if you're cheering on Lilbow. That's to the top side of the map. Our red Terran player, also from Millennium, teammate here is MarineLorD. So far, both these guys just 2-0ing their way through the brackets. Let's see which of one will be the first to drop a map in today's qualifier. So, this is a bit of a weird map. We've got a couple of things to talk about here. I want to kind of explain the Spring Championship WCS format again. A couple of you guys asked in the chat for that. But this map very interesting too. So let's talk about the map first, and maybe we'll just talk about the championship setup and stuff after this game. And maybe in game number 2, because this really is an interesting map that we still don't see a lot of. So a lot of you guys might be a bit unfamiliar with it. It is an 8-player map, which means there are 8 spawning locations. However, only certain spawning locations are enabled. The way it works is that you cannot spawn within 2 spawning locations of your opponent. So, take MarineLorD spawning location. Your opponent cannot spawn in the 2 nearest spawning locations on either side of you. So, MarineLorD knows his opponent cannot spawn here or here, and also knows he can't spawn here or here. So, MarineLorD knows Lilbow is down in this south side with 1, 2, in these 3 bases basically. Because Lilbow actually takes a bit of a, well, actually very standard expansion down here in his natural. So that's why MarineLorD kind of skips these 2 bases and then scouts straight away over here, and will very soon come down here as well. As same thing for Lilbow, skips these 2 bases and does scout just up here looking for his opponent, as we do see a Reactor expand actually from MarineLorD here early on, and the Nexus on the way down for Lilbow as well. As we have the cooling towers also going to be a big part of this game. Rocks to protect in towards your main base. And rocks which can block between the main and natural, which is the dumbest thing about this map, I think. There's a lot of silly things about this map. I think the most silly of them is the fact that these rocks can be taken down so easily and just block opponents away from the main and natural. I mean, 1 Terran drop over here, unscouted momentarily, stim in, kill these rocks, nothing can get to from the natural to the main base anymore. It's really, really silly. It really is. As we get set up into this game number 1. So kind of a weird map, and maybe we'll talk a bit more about it as things go on. So as we are just seeing kind of a passive opening, barracks on the way for MarineLorD, natural command center just finishing, and not really too much going on. Let's talk a little bit about the Spring Championship format and how it works. So the Spring Championship is basically the replacement for WCS Premier League. The 3 championships throughout the year, winter, spring and summer. We've already had winter at IM Katowice. The Spring Championship will take place at DreamHack Tours. And what happens is the winner of the championship does get a seed into the global finals at the end of the year. Lots of WCS points also on the line, and lots of money on the line as well, with round of 16 awarding $6,000. So it's a lot of money on the line. It's a $150,000 tournament, a lot to be won. As we're going to see this probe actually was spotted by that SCV. Whether the players noticed each other is a different question, as we see Lilbow maybe looking to proxy something up here in the near future. We'll see that very soon as he does just go into blink play. So Spring Championship, a big event, one of the most important events of the year for a lot of these players. The Championship events definitely are the most important events of the year in terms of WCS. So that is, it is very important here for players. And so the way it works in terms of qualifying is there's a bunch of ways you can qualify. 2 spots go to the host nation in national qualifiers, and that's what we're watching here today. Then we do have the regional challengers. So that is, say, the ladder competition from the EU and NA regions. We have a ladder qualifier. The top 16 then play out in a double elimination bracket, and the top 2 players from EU and NA from that do advance into the Spring Championship as well. So it's kind of like, that's kind of the challenger. The ladder qualifies you into Challenger League, which then essentially qualifies you into Premier League or the Championship. So 4 slots go to EU and NA from those, and 4 slots go to SEA, Latin America, China, and Taiwan. So that gives us 10 spots in total. 8 spots go to the top 8 on WCS points in 2016, which is, say, Pulled, Snoot, Hydra, Petit Drogo, and so on right now. Heartstorm as well. So that takes us up to 18 slots, and then there's 14 slots remaining, which will be decided by open qualifiers, which are region locked. So there's going to be 8 slots to EU players in the EU qualifiers, and 6 slots to NA players in the NA qualifiers, or NA and China and Taiwan and the other regions as well. So that's how the system works. Again, if you really want to see it in a bit more detail, I advise going into Wikipedia to kind of have a look to see how it works. We're going to see Lilbow being very aggressive here, breaking down these rocks. MarineLorD on the way back to try and defend this, trying to get a bunker up. Not sure if it's going to be here in time. He does have Stimpack ready if he wants to fight against this, but these Stalkers also have Blink. Gonna see a bit of a trade here. No stim just yet from MarineLorD. Now he's gonna stim forwards and try and pick off some of these Stalkers, but Lilbow just blinking back one Stalker at a time. As we're gonna see SCVs pulled maybe a little bit late into this, as we're gonna see Lilbow really achieving a lot of damage with this, as MarineLorD just types out GG right there. In game, it's actually completely fine, so sorry if you do see my webcam lagging a little bit, guys. As we jump into game number 2 of this best of 5. Lilbow to the top right hand side of the map from Millennium is that Pros player who has taken a 1-0 lead here. And now just 2 maps away from qualifying for the 2016 WCS Spring Championship. And it would make his day a little bit easier. You know, it would make his day a lot easier in terms of, well, it just means he doesn't have to go through a loser's bracket, right? And loser's bracket just adds so many more games to your day, and you know, a bunch more players you got to play against, reveal some of your builds you might want to keep hidden for other tournaments. Obviously, it's an important tournament, so you're going to use your builds. You know, you're not going to save. You know, you're not going to save your builds from this to kind of use elsewhere. This is a very important qualifier, but of course, it's nice if you have to play less games and hence reveal less builds throughout the qualifier. As we have the player coming into the bottom left-hand side of the map, also from Millennium, the red Terran is going to be MarineLorD. Lilbow going to be moving in with this probe to scout here at the start of this game. Going to be kind of moving away towards the upper right now as he comes in. Just sees kind of the rack scouts. Going to come back in, just see if it's a Reaper or a Reactor. That just gives him a little bit of information about how exactly MarineLorD is opening, as MarineLorD does move across the map now. Again, these guys did play in the Top Dogs tournament on Thursday in the finals. MarineLorD went 3-0 up in that series before losing 4 games in a row. And Lilbow ended up taking the victory. So, Lilbow, the most recent successor, and has always kind of been the counter to MarineLorD. These guys have met so many times. I remember meeting them in WCS Season 3 Premier League, or maybe Season 2 in the round of 8. And just doing so, you know, both of them doing so well there, getting to the round of 8, and then they meet in the semis, in the quarters. And Lilbow's just always seemed to have the answer to MarineLorD in a lot of these, sort of matches and so on. And so we see this SCV comes in, scouts around, sees the expansion, and that's all this SCV wants to pick up on now. The rest of the scouting will be done by this Reaper at a later stage. With the Reaper, what's basically going to happen is that he can basically jump in there, and he wants to time it out so he jumps in when there's tech coming up. He doesn't want to go in straight away here. He wants to wait until tech is ready to go. And, you know, right now, if he jumps into this Reaper, he might just lose it to see, what, a gateway? You know, that's not great. So he wants to get in here and really see the nuances of this build. What tech structure is up. You know, he wants to see what tech structure there is available in this main base. He wants to see, you know, again, you know, how many units are being made. Is there gas on the natural? That's the sort of things he wants to get out with the Reaper. Not just, hey, you've got a gateway building still. Reaper does get turned away for now by the Stalker, though, so scouting initially being denied as it is Robo Facility Tech for Lilbow to start us off here in game number 2. Twilight as well, and that's very standard Robo Twilight combination at the start here of game number 2. So Robo Twilight combination, some combo of Warp Prism and Blink, and maybe Warp Prism and DT, or Warp Prism and Resonating Glaives, something along those lines. Probably a few observers as well to help with that vision on the map. Can I turn off animation in backgrounds in the options? Maybe. Actually, I didn't realize that was an option. That's actually probably a really good answer, Montatilla. Thank you. I didn't realize you could do that. I'll try that after this game. Thank you. So yeah. Good morning from the USA, says Varen Schler in the chat. Varen, how are you doing? Thanks for dropping by from the USA. You see gateways added on here by Lilbow. Going up to 3 gates. It is Blink. And again, probably a Warp Prism at some point, because if you've got a Robo, you may as well at some point get that Warp Prism, because it is just some good damage across the map, some good potential to get damage done, and just a threat to the Terran player in general. Now, MarineLorD's build here has been very economy focused. He's gone into this very fast bird CC, and we'll be looking to get a bit of damage done with a couple of Widow Mines, which are currently moving over to the right hand side of the map in a medevac, and looking to pick up some kills here early. Lilbow is not going to be too threatened by this third base, though. He has got his own third Nexus dropping down now, starting to build this up as well. And he's just going to be finishing up here in the next few moments as a siege tank on the way from MarineLorD. Plenty of Marines at the front here as well. And MarineLorD just building up and looking to take his own third base very soon. Let's see if he can do a little bit of damage with this medevac as he goes in towards the main in the next couple of moments. Gonna drop 1 minute right here in the third base, and actually Lilbow is gonna respond to this just about in time as actually that Warpism gonna the Widowmine unburrow and reburrow. As we do see this Widowmine shot in the natural gonna be the one to watch. Boom, 5 workers killed there. This Widowmine only gets 1 probe, and this medevac is not going to be able to get that out of there alive. He has to just go and boost away. Does not want to give up the medevac's life to try and save a Widowmine. Just not going to happen. As we're going to see Lilbow, he's been warping quite aggressively off of these gateways, and he's going into Warpism now to reinforce as well. But I feel as though the way in which MarineLorD's opened is going to be okay against these Blink Stalkers. I feel as though with the tank to fire from the distance, with these enough Marines at the front too, I feel as though he's going to be okay to defend here early on. I don't think these Stalkers are going to get too much done, because despite opening kind of 1-1-1 based, Lilbow kind of, MarineLorD has a lot. He's even got a Raven, which, it sounds silly, but Raven's actually very good against these Stalkers, because with a PDD, point defense drone, he can minimize a lot of the damage he takes here. As we do see an auto just coming down, Raven is targeted though. We're going to see tank's actually a little bit out of position right now. Stalkers coming in. We're going to see what they can do. Maybe want to try and get that medevac, which boosts away, realizing that that's probably going to be a high priority target from Lilbow. And some more Stalkers coming in here, pushing in towards the natural. And the mobility of these Stalkers really being utilized very well so far. As we'll just see him blinking away and not really losing anything while picking off a siege tank, picking off that Raven. And just a little bit of damage being done. MarineLorD just going to take a little bit of damage here and there, pulling some SCVs to maybe just repair bunkers or repair this medevac, not too sure. This Observer on the high ground really being a pain, as Lilbow going to blink back up here once again. And just going to, again, just look to see what you can get up to. Liberator going to take a lot of damage, and that's the sort of thing you definitely don't want to lose. It's expensive, hard to get back up, it takes a long time to build. As that scan does come down, he targets down the Observer, and that will help him to really defend against this now, as we see MarineLorD. His extra backs are taking a long time to come up, and he's only just now going to start stim. Queued up combat shields there for a second, realizes his mistake though, and does fix that, cancels it, and will start it on the second tech lab instead. Armory on the way down to continue his upgrades too. As MarineLorD does hold on then, and that's the important part about this, just defending. He takes a little bit of damage, but he opened he took a bit of damage while opening with 3 CC, so his first CC is very quick. It's not like he's taking damage from this while opening with a bunch of units. He's kind of been opening with very few units, and still holds on, so the little bit of damage he does take is manageable. He only really lost actually a Raven, a siege tank, a few Marines, maybe a couple of SCVs. It's actually not as bad as it looked. I mean, it only looked bad because Lilbow was kind of pulling him around, and in the end it wasn't really that bad at all. Resources lost is slightly in favour of Lilbow, but again, I mean, I don't think it's been that bad an opening from MarineLorD. I think he's in a completely fine position right now. As we're going to see this Warpism now getting ready to come in towards the main base. And of course, may not move in until MarineLorD actually moves out onto the map, which could be interesting, and of course could force MarineLorD to come back. Will force him to keep units back at home as well, perhaps. As we're going to see a few more units coming down towards this third base here in a few moments' time. These rocks being killed off by Lilbow, I like this because it actually stops the Terran player from running his whole army up here and kind of laying siege to this fourth base from the high ground. At the same time, maybe if some drops come up there, it's going to be a little bit harder for Lilbow to deal with, as we do see a Void Ray on the way up to actually deal with any Liberator play. Obviously knows that his opponent likes to go for Liberator harassment. And the Void Ray does kill Liberators very quickly, so going into the Void Ray, I'd be surprised if there was more than one Void Ray, unless he really wants to use Void Rays as a main tool in which he can fight against Liberators throughout the entirety of the game, which is not usually seen. Storm is on the way up though, and that is something Lilbow will be looking to utilize here, as he has, for the most part right now, an Adept Stalker heavy army. A couple of Templar warping in, so they'll start to build up that energy, splitting them up a little bit too, and in fact he's already got 3 Templar from the high ground, so just splitting those up, making sure one single EMP is not going to be able to kind of get a bunch of damage. It's kind of interesting, he's kind of got them all over the place, so he's ready to storm on this high ground from the right hand side, and if there's some medevacs flying in as well, he's got them nearby to feedback. Really just spreading this out well, as we do see his Adepts starting to come in. Already the MarineLorD has got a fair few units to start shutting this down, and he shouldn't take too much damage from these Adepts, as we do see the push coming through the centre then. MarineLorD looking to see what he can get up to. Storm has just finished, so you just have to be cautious. There's that one single Stalker blinking forwards. Bit of an overstim perhaps from MarineLorD just there. As Liberators will siege up and start to hold this position. More Adepts being warped in. Liberators will clean up the warp prism, stop further warpings now. As Adepts going to shade up in towards the natural. MarineLorD is starting to take a lot of worker damage, so he is starting to lose a lot of his workers here, a lot of his economy. As these Marines will still kind of work their way through this, and eventually will clean up these adepts, but it does take him quite some time. At the same time, still positioned towards the front, running through a storm a little bit there. As we see him trying to push into this position, trying to fight against this. Liberators in the tank, giving him a good position to fight from. But isn't enough. He's really heavily damaged on this army now after running through a storm after a couple of stims. We're going to see these adepts are actually going to commit, and here we go. Big storm starting to come in once again as well. Wildermines do go off and a couple of adepts. But it looks as though Lilbow just has way too much right now as he blinks forward to help chase this back as well. And Lilbow looking as though he's going to take 2 games in a row and go 2-0 up here in this winner bracket final. And really look as though he's kind of the dominant player looking to qualify for the WCS Spring Championship. MarineLorD types out G and is going to tap out as Lilbow takes game number 2 just like that. And is able to put himself 2-0 up in this best of 5, the losers bracket. I don't know where exactly we'll jump into the losers bracket. Let me try and just very quickly before we introduce players, check where we're at. So it looks as though we'll probably get into, depends how long this series goes on for. If MarineLorD makes a comeback, maybe we'll go into Daishi Firekick. If he doesn't make a comeback and Lilbow storms through, then we'll probably see Firekick maybe against DNS maybe, and then just follow this losers bracket through. There's still going to be a couple best of 5s on the way after this, and probably at least one best of 3 as well. So still plenty of action coming your way from the WCS French qualifier for this Spring Championship. As we go into game number 3, let's see what's going to happen on Invader. To the bottom right hand side of the map from Millennium is our Blue Protoss player. It is Lilbow. As to the upper right hand side is going to be our red Terran player from Millennium. Down 2 games, he needs your support right now. It is MarineLorD. Let's see if MarineLorD can get something rolling here as the Nexus comes down from Lilbow. Definitely is able, has the power to take games off of Lilbow. We saw that in the Top Dogs. He took 3 maps against him. But right now, he's just getting kind of beaten up all over the place. He's being stumped, he's being kind of slapped around a bit by Lilbow. Lilbow just being very convincing in his kind of cleanup and his engagements as well. None of this really looking close at all. As we're going to see a single probe from Lilbow just moving over to the right hand side, going to be dropping pylon over here. And MarineLorD coming in to stab. We'll see it is the close spawns in this game. The close by ground spawns, which makes this very interesting. And maybe going to see a very aggressive game with lots of sort of continued pushing. Very little harassment in towards the main base, I imagine. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. Probably going to be focused on the front and kind of down this single pathway down the right hand side of the map. And as I see this Reaper just heading across here, going to be looking to pick away at a Reaper or 2. Going to be looking to pick away at a probe or 2, sorry, in the next few moments. And just also, again, just confirming, he's already confirmed the Nexus is up, so mostly just looking to get a probe or 2 maybe. But as he jumps in, sees the mothership core, well, yeah, he doesn't even jump in there. He knows it's not worth it. Just going to back away and just wait a little bit while longer before trying to get some scouting information in this game. What's up, Gatsovius? How you doing? Welcome to the stream today. Hope you're doing well, feeling good. As you see, probe just going to be chased away by this SCV currently. It wants to stay on this, wants to make sure nothing gets proxied out on the map. So, MarineLorD really quite serious about this. This probe is going the distance to keep track of this. This SCV going the distance to keep track of this probe. As we're going to see the Reaper coming in and chasing it down. Will eventually reach the probe as well. He sees it. He knows where it is. That probe is not going to be able to make it away, but it does drag. An SCV all the way across this left-hand side. He drags this Reaper all the way over here. And that just wastes a lot of time where this Reaper could be off and away doing other things. And as we have a few Marines just moving out for MarineLorD joining up towards the front. As Dark Shrine going to come in from Lilbow here again. Off of this Twilight Robo facility opening, you can do so many different things. We've already seen it being used twice in this series. And now for the 3rd time, we're going to see it. And this time it's going to be a, 2 different ways, in different ways as well. Last game, a bit of Blink Stalker pressure into Stalker Adept. The game before, a lot of Stalker pressure into just pure Stalker Blink to win. This time it's going to be that Dark Shrine, and so DT is very abusable here with the, the long-range pickup mechanic of the Warp Prism. It really means that you can kind of swipe away at something. As soon as a scan comes down, your Warp Prism can be sitting in a safe spot and just pick it up and get out of there. So something like this reactor on the Starport, if there isn't a turret down, DTs could work away on this, and as soon as a scan does come available, the Warp Prism can be positioned here or so, pick up that DT, and it just wastes the scan basically. But a scan you have to put down because otherwise you're going to lose the reactor. So it's really sort of frustrating to play against as a Terran player, especially if the pros player can execute it well. As we do see the Dark Shrine about to finish up, No Warp Prism on the map just yet. Oh, sorry, there is. It's already up towards the up through the center. Not going to be sighted by this Lilbow, who moves away from the Adept here at the front. Now MarineLorD has not been one to build turrets so far this series. Now, he's not one to build turrets in this game just yet. Although there we go. Just see a turret going down now over in the natural expansion, but nothing in the main base. May just save a scan or so just in case. He actually already does have one scan saved, but now he drops some mules as the turret comes up to the natural. I guess he's got another scan available shortly in the main. There's one DT going to walk through the front. He's going to be spotted here by the turret momentarily. As Lilbow going to see that, he's going to run by. The army's out of position. And we're going to see a Widowmine burrow in here trying to get that Warpism. As MarineLorD will pull some SCVs away. So far, this DT has not picked up a single kill, though, in the natural. So far, so good. As in the main base, well, no kill just yet either. So immediate damage is minimal. As we're going to see MarineLorD just needs to get a turret up in his main. It's going to be his main problem here as he does lose out on a depot. Behind this, Lilbow begins to take a third base. Scan comes down, though, and actually cleans up, I believe, 2 of those DTs. The Widowmine helping out a lot there as well. There's also a third DT going down, so complete denial of this by MarineLorD, despite not being necessarily completely prepared for this as it started. But he just pretty much shut this down completely. Loses the depot, does lose some mining time, but killing off 3 Dark Templar, this has been a big commitment from Lilbow, which has not really done enough. You know, we do see, MarineLorD still holding a very strong work account, and just looking very good here. I was going to see a Warpism. Just going to be coming across over to the right hand side. And that Nexus is up over here now, so he's established his third base. That is of course something MarineLorD will be looking to push into and try and punish now as well. With his first medevacs, he's got Stim up and +1 in combat shields, very close to finishing too. As he also finds this Warp Prism over on the map, but he's not going to pick it off. Warp Prism actually finding where that army is. We see a scan coming in from MarineLorD. Not sure where exactly, maybe back at home to defend something. I actually have no idea where that scan was. As Liberator comes in, forces a little bit of lost mining time, gets a probe kill or 2. He does just force the photon overcharge to get that picked off. He's +1 Stim and combat shields all in the game now. MarineLorD up to 5 racks is what he's going for here. He's going to look to continue being aggressive. We're going to see him stimming in. He's going to take a good fight against a lot of these Stalkers, but big aggressive blink forwards from the Stalkers. And that's going to mean a lot of these go down. They will trade against a lot of this bio, but manages this bio kill off them Stalkers so quickly when they can't blink away defensively, as what we've been seeing throughout the other games in this series. Stalkers, Adepts moving up the right hand side of the map, and well, a couple of Liberators here, so he shouldn't really be able to attack in, although he might be able to work his way through these rocks on the left. If he can get his way through these rocks on the left, then maybe he can find a way in, but again, it's going to be very easy for MarineLorD to just set up another Liberator zone on this left side and really just deny these Stalkers from coming in, as we're going to see an Adept shading through. Shading forwards here, just having a look to see what's going on. These Stalkers blinking forwards. Actually, the Adepts go down, or the Liberators go down very quickly. This Warp Prism is, sorry, not Warp Prism, this bunker has been targeted. Again, all my words mixed up here. But the bunker is going to survive. Good repair from MarineLorD. Getting that there just in time to keep this alive. Warp Prism is warping in more Stalkers. But Lilbow did take some damage there. The Widowmine picking up a few kills. Getting some good splash damage done as well. And just making it a little bit easier for MarineLorD to cleave his way through these Stalkers. As Lilbow still committing to this. No upgrades behind this at all. That means that MarineLorD over time, as he gets +1 armor on the way in after his +1 attack, over time I feel as though MarineLorD gets into this position where his composition is good enough to, is just straight up better than his opponents, better upgraded as well. And that will make a big difference in this, as he's up to 5 racks too, and he's looking to be aggressive. So I mean, as well, being aggressive into just pure blink Stalker can work out very well for him, because he just has the sheer number of bio units to outdo the blinking of these Stalkers. For now, he has to sit defensively, but that will switch around here in the near future. As Widowmines don't target just yet, they do see the Stalkers just blinking away. Widowmines just keeping him safe, as more medevacs on the way up. A few SCVs ready to protect the bunker once again if necessary. As again, just a few units moving forwards here. And again, Lilbow just trying to get a little bit of damage done. We're actually going to see MarineLorD come in a bit now. He's going to siege up the Liberator too. Probably see the Stalkers, yes, targeting that down. But while they target down the Liberator, we'll see him actually losing a lot of the rest of this. And now he blinks away. Warp Prism should be chased and should go down. There's no concussive shells. Makes it a little bit harder to trap a few of these Stalkers on the way out. As that Warp Prism is going to fall. And with that, MarineLorD will pull back, regroup a little bit before he goes and starts to push into that third base. MarineLorD starting to hurt in game number 3 of this best of 5. Lilbow finally looking as though he's got a bit of a weakness here, as MarineLorD is looking fab. 3rd CC on the way up. It's a late 3rd CC, but it's got, because of this, he's got a lot of production And a lot of units with which he can, first of all, hold off that attack from Lilbow and now push on in towards the third base and look to continue trading. Resonating Glaive's about to finish up, so it's just Blink and just Resonating Glaives for Lilbow. And again, it's kind of a lot of bio, and I mean, to some extent, I mean, I think with the upgrades here, if you have 1-1, Lilbow would be able to fight quite nicely. But without the 1-1, I'm not sure how much of a possibility that is. Great splits by MarineLorD, just making sure the Widow Mines don't splash too much onto his own units as he takes down a lot of these Adepts. And after this, it's just the Stalkers, which will try to blink away, but it's not going to be enough. MarineLorD not even stimming once again. There he goes, stimmers once more, just as Lilbow taps out. And here we are, to the top left-hand side here. It is going to be our Blue Pros player in this team kill qualifying round. It's Lilbow. Down to the bottom right, our red term player from Millennium, MarineLorD. Taking that game on Invader. Really kind of defending against the DTs early, then the blink pressure comes in, but he's already got a bit of an advantage. He's able to turn it around once again because of that. And from there we end up in a situation in which we have MarineLorD able to take that game, number 3, and keep himself alive in this series. Barracks and a gas going to come down. And once again, we're probably just expecting to see a nice, slow, standard opening. Probably nothing too crazy or too ridiculous here to get us started. Just pretty standard startup, I think. And we're going to see Lilbow just on a single gas, so looking to be the same as... Whoa, okay, well, MarineLorD going to hide a second Rax over to the side. I wonder if this is going to be Reapers, or if he's going to just go straight into kind of a reactor tech lab and a very quick sort of push across the map here. Because of how small the map is, you can be aggressive like this. And the thing is, there's no reason for Lilbow to check this corner of the base, right? Because, you know, he's got, you know, he's seen the Rax, seen the gas. To him, it just looks like a very standard expansion. He will run in and just try and get some information. It does look to be Reapers, so he was going to be on the way up. As we'll see Lilbow just coming back in. He just wants to, you know, confirm basically that it is Reaper play. That probe getting close towards the second Rax. We're not quite seeing. MarineLorD also sending an SCV down to the low ground just to show that he might be taking the command center here in a few moments to this probe. So usually in the general settings, I looked all over, I couldn't find it. Okay, I'll try again. Maybe I'll try in the break and maybe I'll be able to find it. Oh, you can't change it during promotion? Oh, well, that's dumb. Alright, so as we set up here onto the Nexus, a couple of Reapers are on the way up from MarineLorD. We'll be looking to see these units joining up together and looking to move across the map and looking to get some damage done. Again, it's not it's not every day we see more than one Reaper in the TVP anymore, but it is going to be something MarineLorD's going to try and make work here for him in game number 4. 3 Reapers are beginning to come across here then. As well, I guess there's what, a Mothership Core out, an Adept out. Intrigued to see how successful this is and how well this goes. As coming across the map, you're going to see his Reaper's going to be popping on up and looking to see what he can get up to. As the Reaper's coming in, just going to be coming in, chasing down this Adept here and getting a little bit of damage done. Not too much. Mothership Core coming in now as well to help out, and MarineLorD will just be turned away. Factory on the way up behind this for him, as well as some Marine production starting up now as well. And we're going to see the Reaper moving in towards the natural, gets front overcharged and picked away out immediately. Usually will try and jump back up, and Grenades coming down to try and protect it, gets an Adept kill. He will work his way against the Stalker slightly. As Mothership Core comes in, he'll once again turn around and just go back home. So he turns around, falls back. You can see the Twilight Councillors on the way up for the Lilbow Robo facility. Will be able to start up as well for the 4th time in a row. A Robo Twilight combination to get himself started into his early build order. We'll see what it means for him this time around. Again, there's a lot of different things this could be. There's a lot of different ways to go around things. There's, whoa, wow. Magfield Accelerator from MarineLorD. He's going to push with Cyclones, and he's going to really commit to these in the early stages of this game. It's a build I haven't seen for a long time. The kind of, you know, basically the massive, basically like the massive Cyclone play. It's going to be interesting as we see this Mothership Core just moving around and looking to defend. It's been a long time since I saw this. I think the last time I saw this was actually MarineLorD using it on Prion Terraces. Can't remember against who. As we're going to see this Reaper, Cyclone, popping out. Reaper's on the mind apparently. Cyclone popping out, coming across the map with these Marines. A little bit of aggression to come in here initially, but a couple of gates on the way up. And with Stalkers on the way out, there should not be too much of an issue for Lilbow to deal with. As we see these Marines, these Reapers on the Cyclone, just coming across and looking to see what he can get up to. Cyclone going to lock onto the mothership core there. Gets a little bit of damage done. Forces a foot and overcharge already. Magfield Accelerator going to finish soon. We're actually going to see a bunker being set up at the front as well. MarineLorD really going to try and commit to this. Reaper's coming in to try and, grenade and push these units back. That Cyclone's still here as well. It's not locked on now though. Still no Magfield Accelerator just yet. Pros are going down as they're transferring towards the third base. MarineLorD getting a little bit of damage done, and so far this bunker is on the way up. Second Cyclone here now as well. That Magfield Accelerator finishes, which helps that lock on damage. As look how fast these Stalkers go down now. One of these Cyclones going down though. You're going to see the other one pulling away, but the bunker's up, and so, well, honestly, I mean, Lilbow will have a little bit of trouble now transferring towards this third base. As the bunker at the front just sitting happy here. So bunker up here at the front, and we're going to see the Nexus just Chrono boosting now. As these few Marines, this Cyclone just pulling back a little bit. And we'll just salvage the bunker, so gets the minerals back from this. To go all the way into Magfield Accelerator, I mean, he's got one more Cyclone now, so he's built 3 Cyclones in total. I wonder how much these 2 Cyclones will get done now. With Blink on the map, it seems very easy to kind of blink on top of a Cyclone and really shut it down very quickly. As we see, currently Lilbow chasing his opponent away, and the lock-on does get cancelled as the Stalkers just move out of vision range there momentarily. A few SCVs pulled to repair the bunker at the front, as these Stalkers, though, with Blink, could go up in towards the main base. Already he's going to start picking away at a depot. Siege tank can maybe siege, but actually these Stalkers are going to commit up here. And these Cyclones, well, they're going to try and see what they can do, but they're getting targeted down very quickly, as the rest of these units don't really seem to be enough. SCVs coming in though, and well, that Stalker count is beginning to get lower. As you see, another Stalker on the low ground again, sniped down. That Marauder shot, really doing a good job of just catching a Stalker there. Big amount of damage. And down one more Stalker goes. So actually MarineLorD going to hold on. He's 6 workers behind, he's got a 3rd CC built. And it is just about defending for him momentarily. If he continues to defend, he's got his extra racks on the way up. Stim will be finishing soon. And he will find himself in an alright position. As Lilbow, a bunch more gates on the way up, and looking for an adept Stalker heavy composition in towards the mid stages of the game. And what that allows him to do is just trade very nicely with the bio for a long time. Really delayed the bio from moving out from this bunker, and really delayed moving in towards the third base. Up towards about about 150 supply is about the amount of supply where you can trade with bio very well with Adept Stalker. From there, you really have to start kind of changing things up. As for now, we just see pure Stalker is doing a job. We're going to see some SCVs having to be pulled in, and MarineLorD has to do this to stay alive. Tank getting some damage done, a few more units stimming where possible. SCVs helping to push back, and MarineLorD going to push all the way back here. He will get a few more of those Stalkers in the end, but again, he loses some workers for this. He has a lot of lost mining time now as well, and it is Lilbow who's edging ahead in this game. Stalkers continue to move around until you see what they can get up to. They're going to be coming in here once again. I mean, when you've got pressure going so well for you, I mean, may as well keep it up. I mean, again, with the blink, you can come in, engage, re-engage, blink away when he doesn't want to fight. He's right now, he's targeting down them Marauders, and actually these Marines are just dropping as well. And it looks as though Lilbow might have just built up enough of an advantage to just blink forwards and win this game right here. He's going to at least force once again the SCVs off the line. Reinforcing Stalkers are on the way in. There's a lot of gateways up now, 8 gates for Lilbow, so there's a lot of reinforcements coming in every time he has a warp in available. And then Mortal coming across the map too to reinforce this. Plus 1 about finish for Lilbow, so he's about to even up the upgrades as well. As MarineLorD is really just struggling to stay alive, as oh no, this third base is going to take a lot of damage. If this goes down, well, that would just be game ending, because how do you recover from this without a 3rd CC? I'm not really too sure. A couple more Stalkers warping in, this Mortal helping to push this back, as the MarineLorD will drop this tank off to the back a little bit. And this very aggressive Protoss style has been very successful for a lot of Protoss players lately, and Terrans have been really struggling to find a way to play against it. As you see, these Stalkers building forwards, these last couple of tanks will go down. In this game, though, I mean, we've got to say, MarineLorD's build just didn't really do the damage he needed to. La pylon defense, it's impressionante, GG. Impressionante. Yes, the pylon defense is impressive.